You and I have like almost the same perspective on movies. That's why it's like it's nice to have Manny on because he's like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So
he's like, well,
I thought it was pretty good. Like you said that 17 times.
The film was really good. Man, you said that 5 times, bro.
Hi, welcome back to Not Your Everyday Critics, coming at you live from the Bomb Shelter Studio Recording Center in Garden Grove. I'm your host, George Lugo.
I'm David Raby.
If you guys haven't seen this show before, what we do is rate, review, and critique movies of all genres, budgets, and types. And today we are missing Manny, so it's just David and I running this. We're running this shit solo today, so Manny can go fuck himself.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be reviewing. Spoiler alert!
Big spoilers.
We are going to be reviewing The Menu.
Damn it!
Right?
Ready?
Okay. Yeah, super excited. I've been waiting for this movie for such a long time. Ralph Fiennes. It's Rafe.
Ralph. Is it Rafe?
All the interviews, everyone that talks about him says Ralph, but they all call him Rafe. Like a wraith, like he's taking the rings to Mordor or something. They literally call him Rafe.
Those fucking Brits would pronounce it.
They would pronounce it that way. I mean, they call aluminum aluminium, so
it's weird.
Stupid.
The way they spell color and favorites.
But starring Ralph Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, John Leguizamo. I mean, it's got a great cast.
It does.
Been dying to see this movie because I like watching like food shows also.
Mm-hmm.
So I had just finished The Chef's Table not too long ago, which is actually kind of funny because they actually hired the people that did all the shots of the food from Chef's Table to do the shots for like the amuse bouche and all the, how they had the clips of the food. Like that was all done with the people, the cinematographers that did the stuff for Chef's Table. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. That's why it was like very unique and like had that dark background. And yeah, I was fucking really excited about that. So I mean, overall, what do you think about this movie?
I obviously went in without that much expectations. Mm-hmm. But according, the trailers kind of lead you on to make it think like, holy
they're built
shit.
that way. So I mean, even a dog shit movie is gonna have a really good trailer.
Yeah. And the trailer was good, and the movie was, to me, it was okay. It wasn't what I was expecting. Like, it wasn't bad, but I was also somewhat let down, in my opinion.
It's kind of like in the middle, right?
Yeah.
It leaves you wanting just a little bit more.
It's like they're, obviously they're in control of the wheel, and they start to turn it where you're wanting to, like, jerk the wheel left. They're like, we're just going to do this.
Yeah. And the crazy part is they kind of tell you what's going to happen in the movie from the start, so they let you know, hey, this is what's happening, and that's that.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot. There's not a lot there to be like, well, fuck, what are they gonna do then? How are they gonna get out of this? And it's like they don't even really try to get out. One dude tries, and he's like 70, So it's like they're like, fuck you, guy, and they take his finger. So.
Yep. That was a really cool scene too.
It was pretty good. There was some great scenes in here. The cinematography is really good though. I mean, from start to finish, shot really well.
Yeah.
They picked a great scenery, right? It's like on a little remote island, not too far from the coast.
Yeah, off New York, right?
Off New York, yeah. There's a lot of driftwood and stuff. A lot of he talks about it in the movie. He's like, it has its own little ecosystem, and if we didn't basically mess with it, nature is timeless. It would never even knew we're here.
Yeah.
I kind of like his like theory, like kind of on life. So
yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Like a sort of philosophy on it.
Yeah.
You want to try out this wines that we got?
I definitely do want to try this one.
This one is called Agitator, and it is actually, the wine is made from old bourbon barrels. So I'm really excited about this.
I like it with the casket in there. It's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, cheers, buddy.
Cheers. That's pretty good, actually.
It's a really smooth wine.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be dry.
Yeah.
But it's not dry.
It goes down real easy. It smells
pretty good. Yeah, it smells good. There's a lot of flavors here.
You can almost smell hints of that bourbon.
That's good.
This is a really good fucking wine, man. 2019, excellent year.
Excellent year.
It's a Literally like the last year that we had.
It was the last good year and the start of the worst.
Yeah, right? Shit, dude.
Okay, so let's talk about the story.
So the story is they're going on this like little, was it like a day trip, right? For them to go to this restaurant.
It's like an all-night event, and they basically they stay there until like I believe they said 2 a.m.
But this movie kind of focuses mostly on Nicholas Hoult and Anya Taylor-Joy's characters.
Let me see. We got
Her name was
Margot, and Nicholas Holt's character was Tyler.
There you go. Remember now. Wine's kicking in.
Yeah.
But it was weird because, like, you're presented with them thinking that they're a couple that have been together for a while because of the way they're, you know, their body language, they're not so...
Well, the way they interact with each other
Yeah.
on the boat, they kind of seem like they might have been dating
for a couple years, at least.
I wouldn't say a couple years. I would say minimum at least a year. So it's interesting that later we find out that he basically just hired her for the day.
She was like a last-minute replacement. It's pretty brutal.
It's pretty brutal.
Because they mention it. They're like, your name's not on this list. And she's like, they, you know, that's when it, like, dawns on him. He's like, fuck, they looked it up or whatever. You know, they had it all there. And you can see, like, the look of disappointment. And then it just keeps calling back that whole time. I like how they keep doing that, too, because there's, like, the little name on the card.
Yeah.
And it's, like, someone else's name. It's like, like,
right.
Fuck, dude.
Just a constant reminder that you were not supposed to be here.
You're not. Yeah. And again, as the movie progresses, you know, like, you know, she's obviously the one that's out of place. Everyone else is they're obviously excited to be there.
There are people from all facets of life there. So we get an old, incredibly wealthy couple there that had been 11 times. Yeah. We'll touch back on that in a little bit. We get the 3 businessmen, you know, that are just going as kind of like their buying experience. There's the celebrity that's going there because he's just trying to excuse.
Like a foodie.
He claims to be a foodie,
and he name drops all the time.
Yeah, he's always name dropping. And then we have
the
celebrity food critic, who the chef invited to this event in particular. And then obviously there's Nicholas Holt's character Tyler and Margot,
just paid his way in,
who just, you know,
lucky to be here.
Yeah, but it's funny because he's like, I feel like the worst out of all of them because he's like that food enthusiast of the worst kind. You know,
you see it right off the bat.
So annoying, on the boat. And it's just like I can't. It's like, fuck, I don't know if I could deal with his character.
Yeah, I love Nicholas Hoult. We love you, Nick.
I do love Nicholas Hoult,
his character was just so hard to
like. Right, it's so hard to watch his character, but
like,
it's
around a character like that. I'm like, oh god, just take the fucking photo and let me eat. Like, hurry up, you know? Right. God damn it.
It's like I get it. Like he's all about it, and he loves the craft and
presentation.
But it's like
feeling that you get when you're.
But it's almost like it's an obsession over something that like
that's something
he'll never he'll never be able to do because they mentioned about him joining the staff. He couldn't do shit.
Yeah, that's what always like puzzles me, kind of bothers me a bit. Like, you know, people, this whole obsession of like getting things right and stuff like that. Like for the whole food presentation and making it more of an experience. It's like, what experience, dude? Like, I'm a human being. I need to eat to survive. That's it. I guess I have more of a Harry Dean Stanton kind of philosophy behind eating. I only eat just so I can smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol.
It is interesting the way that they plated the food, where it's kind of like it's like a marvel to look at, but it's also kind of emotionless.
When he played it up like that, it's like, what am I supposed to eat? What am I not allowed to eat? Where do I start? Like, what the fuck is food and what is not food?
Yeah.
I'm a dum-dum, so you have to like label shit for me. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The whole thing with, you know, when they did the amuse-bouche, when they did the first course, when they did the breadless bread. It's cool, but it's like, what are we doing here?
That's when everyone started getting upset. That's when it started turning on Chef to like, where the fuck's the bread? It's like, holy fuck. So that was like, I don't know, it was just when you're breaking down the food and like presenting it like in a molecular level kind of shit, and let's start like the gastronomy, right? Is it?
Yeah. That's
when it's like, all right, dude, calm the fuck down. Just make the fucking food.
It's just interesting how he has stories for every single course. I mean, that's kind of what those meals are actually about too. Like Nicholas Holt's character Tyler was right. He's like, you won't know what the theme of the night is until like the last dish,
right?
And all the other, you know, courses are kind of hints towards that.
So I know I'm going to be jumping ahead a bit, but as the movie was progressing, what I was expecting was that one by one, each of the guests would like fuck up somewhere. and they would
Be part of the meal.
become the meal. And that's what I wanted it to be, because I wanted it to be something like really, because the whole time they're presented with this like, oh, look how beautiful it is, but there's still this like dark overtone of like ominous feeling, like something here is not quite right.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting, was like him cutting him up, using him as something. I thought it was going to be something cool, but not quite.
Yeah. I was expecting something different too. Like, I wasn't necessarily expecting them to eat the guests. I was kind of expecting everything, like anything and everything going awry, the whole night being headed down a dark path. And then at the end, it's kind of like it was an act, and that was part of the menu.
Right.
Kind of like game night. It's kind of like they pay for that experience, right? So they have a crazy night, and then like everything is going awry, and then at the end it's like, oh, time's up, and hope you enjoyed the event, because it was you paid for this.
You want to try one of these with me? I did my
Sweet.
best. Try to present it. Cheers.
Cheers. There's nothing better than listening to people eat on a podcast.
We're an ASMR podcast now. Welcome. So what were your expectations for the movie?
Like I mentioned, I was really hoping that it was going to be like knowingly paid for the meal, and they know that it's like there's an experience attached to it, but they don't know what the experience was. And I was hoping that the experience was going to be
Death.
yeah, but just kind of like dark, and I was hoping it was going to be of that nature, violent, and then at the end, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, we're good."
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Right? See you next week.
We'll see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for not killing us.
But
Bye.
they kept going in the direction of, no, we're gonna die at the end of this movie.
Yeah, which was kind of weird, because everyone just kind of like, oh God, okay, we're dying here.
They just
Like,
accepted it.
They gave up right away.
They just accepted it. You know, I was like, would not accept it that easily. They would have to. I would definitely be fighting my way out till I die.
Like anytime I go into a building, I already start looking at exits and possible weapons. If I
do
have
that
to
all
use
the
them.
time.
Yeah,
all the time.
it's just like
You
a
never know when the
situational
zombie
awareness.
outbreak's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Exactly.
Never know.
I'm just like always I'm paranoid, yeah, very much so. But I'm also prepared. I know where the exits are. I know what weapons I could possibly use if I need to.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, a place like that, when you're on a remote island, already you're isolated.
Yeah,
from-
you're already you're isolated, and also you're at the will of someone you don't even know.
Like
He could be psychotic,
He's a
which he
madman.
was.
Yeah.
Which he was. I mean, let's talk about his madness, right? So he was kind of fed up with the craft and hasn't really enjoyed feeding anyone in a long time. And the people that could get to see his art or even taste it were basically people who were not your everyday person. It was only like the wealthy, and it's kind of, like he mentioned, it's kind of lost on them. Like he mentioned the wealthy couple that had been to his restaurant 11 times.
and they couldn't name one fucking
Yeah,
dish.
he asked the husband. He's like, name one dish that you had here last time.
They're like, salmon.
God.
Yeah, God, yeah, it was salmon.
It was
asshole.
seared halibut, you son of a
whatever, yeah,
bitch.
It's fucking raw. I was
It's
kind of
fucking
waiting
raw.
to say they wanted to. I don't know, because it's the whole time, like I think it's because he's British and like so is Chef Gordon Ramsay. I was like, come on, it's like play on him,
fucking raw. What are you, an idiot sandwich?
Yeah. So that's why I was kind of like, I don't know. There's a part of me that was also worried, though, like what if like Gordon Ramsay does lose his mind and does something like that? It wouldn't be too far off, and I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I understood the method to his madness. He's just like, he's the worst kinds of people there. Like the pretentious food critics.
Yeah.
The self-proclaimed celebrity who's a foodie and whatnot. Who's
It's almost
always name dropping and doesn't know anybody.
they go to the restaurant not to necessarily eat that particular food, but just to take a picture and garnish all the fucking likes and
Yeah.
shit like this. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point?
Yeah. The guy's like, you pay for the experience, which I kind of understand that concept, but it's like, also enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
Put
not
your
phone down, look around,
Yeah, enjoy the
take it all
moment.
in. Yeah.
Enjoy the moment, not just with yourself, but with the people you're with.
Through the lens of your camera, just all the time.
Yeah.
I see it like all the time. Like, just come on, like put your phones down and
Yeah. That's cool, that you get to have those fun experiences and those fine dining and whatnot, but like, it's kind of really meant to be enjoyed in the moment.
yeah.
I understand where he was coming from with that, and he just like lost interest because it's like
Got lost in the sauce, man.
he got lost in it and basically had to answer to a shitty boss, and boss technically owned him, and he was trying to take everything back,
Yeah.
trying to make his own thing. The only thing I didn't understand is like, why kill yourself? Why kill everybody? That was the one thing I like, because the girl mentioned it, and like it was her suggestion. She's like, the menu doesn't work unless we all die. And it's like, why doesn't the menu work?
Right.
I mean, technically they could have charged the guests and then killed the guests, and the staff could live.
Yeah.
It's like, why did everybody have to die? Staff and the guests. That concept was a little lost on me.
I got surprised when one of the chefs like shot himself.
Oh,
That was
I love
really
that.
cool.
The mess.
Yeah. It was a Josh's mess
Yeah,
or some shit.
yeah, that was fucking great.
Because I honestly thought like the chef was gonna kill him. And I was like, okay, that's not it. I thought
He
maybe
made the
gonna
guy kill
fucking-
himself, dude.
Yeah. He did that with Tyler too towards the end.
Mhm.
Like you see his during the film, he calls out Tyler to make something. He's like, all right, fucker, like see what you can do.
Mhm.
And Tyler
He makes
like lamb chops or some shit.
yeah, he makes like a lamb cutlet or a lamb leg it looked like, but with like shallots and
Rosemary or some
and
shit like that.
rosemary and then like he fucking grills it up with butter, you know. And then he eats it and he's like, this is incredibly bad.
Yeah. And then he whispers something to him in his ear,
Yeah.
and that like look of just utter disappointment and failure
Yeah.
that comes across him, and he's just like takes off his little chef jacket and goes in the back room, and it's like, okay, you don't hear him from him after that until you see through the door his body hanging lifeless from the raft. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh. It got dark.
Yeah, what are we hanging out here now?
It got dark.
So I kind of wanted to see definitely more death, a bit more gruesomeness, I guess.
Yeah, definitely more gore would have been nice. It's a dark comedy that's also a thriller.
Yeah.
I wouldn't classify it as a horror movie.
No.
And I mean, one of the best parts of the movie, we can probably agree, is when the men all run, and the last one to be caught gets he gets a treat,
Gets a treat, yeah.
right? Treat for the last man to be caught. Like he's in the fucking chicken coop.
Yeah, and then they present him with the plate.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, man, like when you're writing a film like that, you have to have characters that aren't, I don't know, I guess to make the story a bit more like, compelling.
You have to be characters that are not all the same. They have to be very, very diverse.
Yeah, so I don't know, when you find yourself, I mean, it's a crazy fucking situation, yeah, but still, like, when you're working together, staying together is key,
Yeah.
especially in a situation where you have to survive. Like, it was kind of disappointing. It was funny to see them all run. Like, I like how he didn't get to finish the sentence. That one guy just took off right away. He's like, oh, okay.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
45 seconds starts now.
And so I was also kind of wondering, too, because that whole running idea was from one of the other chefs, right? That was her idea? I think they presented it that way.
Yeah. That was her part of the menu.
So that's what I was thinking of. It's like, okay, are they just going to go one by one, and these people are going to have to be subjected to the chef's sadistic, twisted games
Yeah.
for each part? Like, one by, like, who survives kind of thing. I would thought would have been more entertaining,
Yeah. If they would have added another element to it.
Yeah, it had a bit more,
Yeah.
not character development, but I mean, putting a name to the face of the different chefs and everything like that.
Mhm.
This is the person who's ordered them to do that, or they're making them do
I
this.
think if they did that, they would definitely need more guests at the island. The whole point is for the menu to make it to the end of the night. So if they're killing off guests every course, I mean, I think there's only 12 of them there. It's a 5-course meal to like
Yeah.
plus the dessert at the end. So it's like there wouldn't be any guests left to enjoy everything at the end. So I think there would, for that element to work, there would definitely need to be at least double the amount of people there, and then it
Right.
would be less exclusive.
Yeah, dude, he was like, it was kind of like, it also kind of brought me to believe that, it's sort of like a cult-based kind of shit, which it kind of was.
For sure, the way he controlled them,
The way he
like
controlled them, and like the way they were just like agreeing with him, like, yeah, he's a great man, like, like he can't go any wrong. Like, he's
Yeah.
like fucking, he was like the Jim Jones of the culinary world or something. Yeah, that's what another aspect that I was kind of hoping that they would kind of touch on as well, like, elaborate a little bit more on.
yeah,
But
that would have been nice.
yeah,
Actually,
they didn't really.
would have been nice for it to touch a little bit more on the cult base and maybe dive into that story more. To be honest, I wanted to see a little bit more of his house.
Yeah.
I wanted there to be something more than just what they showed in the movie. I was kind of disappointed in that.
Yeah.
Because there was this foreshadowing in the beginning of the movie
As she's walking.
and it's like, yeah, she went there, but it's like it was kind of lackluster.
And then also those pivot doors, how they enter in, there was like an ominous feeling towards it, and like she kind of looks at it too. And I thought that was going to be a pivotal role in the film at some point. Like, you know, they're gonna like have to break down the door or some shit like that. I don't know, but nothing, dude.
Yeah, there was a lot of things missing that I guess, you know, the viewer was guessing and hoping for. It kind of stayed the course that you know, obviously that was written, and just it was a little lackluster in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I think the movie was fun. It definitely was funny. It was a funny movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was a little suspense there. It was just a little lackluster in the end. I just was a little disappointed with how they ended this build up to this movie, because it was done really well. It was kind of like anticlimactic at the end.
It was, and that's what was disappointing about it for this film. I was just like, come on. I wish they added a little more, did a little more element, like all the things I wanted a little bit more of. They just chose not to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of disappointing about it all. And that's what also at the same time kind of gives me hope to see if they do a prequel to this film. Because if he's done this before, like what happened in that, you know?
Well, I don't think he's killed anyone before, but I think when he mentioned we've done this before, it's just like they just serve people. Yeah. But it would be interesting if they did do a prequel and it was kind of like a test run and they did end up killing all the guests only. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Maybe we can get some reason behind why everybody dies this time and not just the guests,
or how he developed a sort of cult following in his kitchen.
A cool take on a concept that already exists.
Mm-hmm. Like any good movie, you've established the characters, you've established the plot, but then drop little breadcrumbs of hints to a universe that can be expanded on, and that's gonna really add a lot more backbone to your overall story arc. Be like, okay, the movie was okay, but I'm more interested in this element, which they mentioned here, you know, like, and that's, to me, that's kind of what this film did for me. I was like, there was certain things I wanted them to open up more, and they just chose not to.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of wish they would have done just a little more. We can sit here and argue that all night.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's done is done. The story they told is what we got. I don't think it's necessarily bad, you know?
It's not bad, but it's also, it leaves you with blue balls, you know?
Like, yeah, it's kind of what it was like. It's like you were expecting so much more.
Yeah.
You know, and this bitch didn't finish me off.
Come on. I thought you said you were strong on your head game. What the fuck? This is weak. You know?
I was looking for an angry Handy J.
Angry Handy J, yeah.
It's definitely unique. So it's the concept is unique and original. So I mean, we got to give some credit to that, because in a world of remakes, reboots, and sequels, it was nice to see something of original content.
Yeah, you're right.
That's nice. You know, and not only that, shot very well.
It was.
Acting was top notch.
Oh yeah.
It was just a little lackluster in the end, but not, like I said, not a horrible movie.
I think maybe that's what it is too, is because you have such a great fucking
It was such a great cast that I felt like they could have done just a little bit more at the end.
To start pushing each one of the actors sort of like to their little limits, you know, of like terror, fear, you know, like see them being pushed to that line, and it just give the actors a bit more room to show off their caliber, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, that didn't happen.
They got a Michelin star chef to help them.
Oh,
make
really?
The dishes. Her name is Dominique Crenn. It says here she's a San Francisco Michelin-starred chef. Dominique Crenn served as chief technical consultant for the film, working to create the on-screen cuisine according to deadline. So I mean, the food was definitely created by a legitimate, you know, like one of the world's best chefs. So that's cool.
Did they say how old she was?
No, she looks like she's like in her mid-40s though.
Pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah.
Shit.
And as far as that the food goes, like they basically did tell her that they wanted the food to be like extravagant, but definitely lifeless and emotionless. So that's why
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
That's kind of what they were going for. So she got to be very creative with the food.
Very dull.
Yeah.
There was like nothing really, like some of the plates, there was like really nothing that kind of stood out or eye attention and grabbing it.
It's very like It looks good, but at the same time, you're like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's boring, but like in a beautiful way.
Like the whole plating aspect of it too. Like I try to make, when I make food at home, I try to make it look good and taste good. But I definitely suck at plating. I don't know.
Plating is hard.
Yeah.
It's an art form just in itself.
It is. It
know?
really is, dude. Because me, I guess I'm too old school. I'm like, food is for eating. Just fucking eat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want it to look nice and, presentable and stuff like that. But when you look at like those restaurants like that, the really, the plating aspect of it all, where you have like a whole team setting up just one fucking plate, it's just a little too much for me.
There's a show on Netflix that's dedicated to ugly food, but like actually tastes good.
Mm.
I think it's like Ugliest Foods or something. I forgot what it's called. I'll put the thing here, but it's a pretty cool show.
I think that's one thing I always love
like
about
some foods. Like when you go, you're like, "What the fuck is this? It doesn't look good." And you eat it, and you're like, "This is amazing,
really good." Yeah,
fucking amazing. It was like that. I went to this fucking Malaysian restaurant in Seattle. My wife's and my sister-in-law's favorite Malaysian restaurant, and they have a dish there that it's a soup, but it's like a fish-based soup, so it is
fishy,
pungent.
Oof.
But it's like their signature dish, And I'm very adventurous when it comes to food. I love trying new stuff all the time.
It's always, yeah.
And so, I asked them, like, what are you guys known for here? What is your signature dish?
Is the soup the day?
And that's what they said. I'm like, can I get that? And they're like, because it's all like, Asians and stuff, and they see like me, and they're like, it's very fishy. Like you might not like it. And I'm like, I'll be good. Like I like trying stuffs. And it's definitely pungent. Like even when like you brought it from the kitchen, you could start to smell how fishy it was.
Whoa!
But
it's gonna stain your clothes, man.
It was incredibly good.
Really?
It was super good.
Damn.
Like it definitely had a pungent smell, but the flavors were so robust. Like there was so much, like you could taste like the fish broth, but also there was like a spiciness to it. And there was like noodles and like fresh vegetables in it. It was very cool. It was a very good dish. And like, it definitely wasn't an attractive dish, nor, nor did it smell good, but it's like, it was fucking tasty.
Mm.
So it's like, be adventurous.
Oh, one thing I've always loved about like Anthony Bourdain is because he was always, he was like a chef and he's adventurous, like you said, but he was always like, he was able to walk like both sides of the culinary world, where street food, he loved it. The high
street food's the best.
It is, dude. Like, the greasier the better. All this shit.
Yeah.
Like that, But then
what is it about that? What is it about street food where we see it? You're like, man, I want to stop there.
I think
there's something about it. Like, there's literally one down the street from here.
Yeah.
Right. We saw it on the way in, and they had like the fucking
spinning cone
the spinning meat tube. I was like, fuck, man, that sounds pretty good right now.
Game, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about street food. Street food's fucking incredible. Yeah, street food's fucking incredible. That's why I want to go to Thailand, because like they have so many street vendors there, and then for the nightlife.
Oh yeah, I think he did an episode. Anthony Bourdain did an episode in Thailand.
Yeah,
but he was able to walk that line of like going down the street, enjoying street food, and then also dabbling in the high end stuff and being able to appreciate it as well, which I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know, but I think he was definitely, a major influence for me to just always be adventurous and try new things, especially when it comes to food.
Yeah.
Especially with cheese, because I know he always said that, the stinkier the cheese, the better it's going to taste.
Better.
Yeah.
That is true in some, is very true in almost all facets for cheese. Yeah. But there are some, like there's that cheese, I think it's Italy, where they have like this cheese that's absolutely illegal because of the way they pasteurize it. They pasteurize it with like maggots and stuff. Ugh. Like they're still alive when you're eating the cheese. Ew. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but it's considered a delicacy there. Yeah, I was really hoping for just a little bit more out of this movie. I did enjoy it though. It was super fun, right? Ralph Fiennes. That's how I'm gonna pronounce his name now.
Call him Ralph.
I'm gonna call him Rafe because it's funnier. Fuck off, Rafe. He's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, high caliber actor.
He's super high caliber, and Anya Taylor-Joy. she's coming up in the world. You know, I mean,
She's
fucking
been on my radar
Queen's.
for quite a
But
while.
Queen's Gambit put her on the map.
For Split really put her on the map for me, honestly.
She did do Split before Queen's Gambit. Yeah. Okay.
Well before that, and her
Yeah.
her character in Split, like she knew how to survive. She knew.
Yeah. She was also in another movie done by this director.
Oh really?
She was in Northman. Northman did same direct. That was also with Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe, Ethan Hawke.
She can hold her own. She's
What's the Skarsgård? The tall one. He's the tallest of all the Skarsgårds. I forget his name. No, not Bill.
Alec?
The older one.
There's so many.
But he was in True Blood. He was in Zoolander. It's like, excuse me, have you ever heard of styling gel?
Was he also in Black Mass?
No, that's another Skarsgård. Yeah, that whole fucking family's talented.
Yeah, they're great. But
What's
just
up?
Stop. Enough with
What
the
they need to
Skarsgård.
do is make a movie with the Skarsgårds.
Yeah.
So instead of like the Kardashian, it's the Skarsgårds.
Skarsgård. Just something like that. Do they really need to?
They're like, what's Bill doing? He's prepping for a
Papa
role.
Skarsgård's still alive, huh?
Yeah, they all are.
I love
They
him, dude.
they all do work.
I love
all of them.
I love seeing him in movies too. Ever
Yeah.
since Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, I love
He
Deep
gets his
Blue
arm
Sea.
ripped off,
Yeah, that's fucking good.
That was a great movie too. But yeah, Skarsgårds. We're just making fun of you, but we love and respect you
Oh,
guys.
fucking absolutely.
There's just too many of you. Okay, so this one is your pick. This is a Chateau de Chantegrive.
Chantegrive. Mm-hmm.
And it's 2019 as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the
Grand
COVID
Vin
year.
de Bordeaux. De Bordeaux, I think is how you.
Bordeaux.
I don't know French.
Oui. Stupid Americans. Not bad. I think the agitated one's better.
It is.
More flavor.
It is.
Yeah.
This one goes down a little too easy.
Yeah. There's like, this is,
It's like water.
yeah, I was going to say, there's not a lot of flavor here.
No,
But it's not horrible.
it's not bad.
It just doesn't, the other one had way more flavor.
Maybe it was the bourbon barrels, dude.
I think it's the bourbon barrel for sure. It really
Bourbon is a really.
I think it brings out the flavor of all the tones of all the other ingredients.
Well, that's what I like about bourbon is because they only use new oak new casked oak barrels for bourbon every batch, and so
Yeah, and then they donate the other ones for
Apparently
wine.
they
Yeah.
either send it to this for wine, which is a new thing now, I think, but I know they've been sending it over Scotland to make Scotch. That's what it's made
nice.
out of. Yeah, that's why it's very similar in the notes.
Yeah.
I think that's why I love Scotch too.
Scotch.
Scotchy, Scotch. Yeah,
I love Scotch.
but
Down in my belly.
definitely bourbon. I don't know. It's an American thing,
Yeah.
I guess.
And it's good. I mean, I'll definitely watch it again. I mean, if not for, the story, which there is a little lack of, the cinematography and the acting is definitely something I want
Yes.
to continue seeing that.
The lighting aspect as well too.
It was very well lit.
where they were sitting was very well lit, and then you can see in the background. Oh, you can clearly see them, but then the way Chef was,
Mhm.
he was just kind of like that ominous figure lurking in the background in the
Yeah.
shadows.
And the way he had like his story was very like tied into that island. So like the restaurant was kind of sat at the edge of like a very small cliff overlooking the ocean, like is very intimate and open and kind of full of life.
Yeah,
And the concept is really cool. I fucking loved it. I want to see more work from this director for sure. So I mean, we'll probably do The Northman at some point because I've been wanting to watch it anyways because I like Norse mythology. So that'll be fun. But as far as rating goes, I can't really give this like an incredibly high rating, even though I did like it. I
Yeah.
did enjoy the movie,
it's weird. Yeah,
but I can't. I mean, I could barely give this a 3, and that's for cinematography. And I think that's mainly just because the lack of an ending. The ending was so lackluster, and it was kind of,
it was just a weird ending.
it wasn't.
Like the way the twists and sort of turns that they did take.
There was a lot, and you were expecting a better ending.
You
than-
expected a better. Yeah, it
yeah.
didn't make. That's why for me the ending kind of didn't make sense. Like you didn't even turn the wheel that far for us to get that kind of ending.
Yeah, I think their big turn was that Margot lived, and that Chef finally got to feel the joy of cooking for somebody again,
Right.
which is cool. I love those concepts. But as for the rest of the clientele, you know, the rest of the customers, it was just like they stayed on track and it just continued as. I guess it's kind of cool. So we got to see the whole s'mores thing go up. I mean, that was the concept was pretty funny and cool. You know, the giant marshmallows are really cool.
That would be a good thing to incorporate for if we had more time on this episode, to have actual gingerbread cookies and make them into s'mores.
Yeah, yeah. I think it would have been so much better if the chef and the staff didn't die, because we would also, to be honest, this would be actually pretty good as a series. Like a series of movies. It would be good as a series of movies.
That's why I really want them to, I hope they do like a prequel.
Prequel would be really
more
good.
on it. Like, what was the chef going through? What brought him there? Where did he get this sort of cult following? How?
Yeah, I think there's enough story there for them to make a prequel, to see like chef kind of come into his own and, you know, get the money to fund for his restaurant, and like kind of see how he became what he was, but also see the struggle of making it, trying to make his vision come to fruition,
Right.
but being controlled by like, you know, the financial backers.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see that, and we'll get to see a whole different aspect and the whole build up to that.
Like, what was a turning point for chef?
Yeah, what was the turning point? That'd be pretty cool. I mean, there's stuff that,
there's definitely stuff there.
yeah, there's stuff there. And I think, to be honest, a prequel would probably be better than a sequel.
Because they'll come
Yeah.
back after that.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to see Anya Taylor-Joy, but, you know.
Yeah. So I the best I can do is a 3. I'll let you pick the head, and how many heads do you think you would give this?
Damn, man. For me, my rating would be like a 2, honestly. And I'm being generous, dude. I was kind of really disappointed.
It's so weird, right? That we like
It's a
kind of enjoyed the movie.
It's a good movie,
but it's like the movie, the ending kind of fucked us so bad. We were just like, nah.
There, like I said before.
I mean, there's a reason why we have all the story building and the telling, you know, and it's for the big climax at the end of the movie. And if it's anticlimactic, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You know,
just jerk me around and no kaboom.
no kaboom.
Oh, and boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, for me, a 2, and that's being generous.
We can meet in the middle.
There was a lot that I liked about this film, and there was still more than anything. It was just a story that I didn't really. The lack of story,
I think, was the issue.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because the production value was great, the casting was great,
the lack of story is weird, but the interaction between the characters was there.
Mm-hmm.
There was interaction between the characters, and I like that. But it's like that only will get you so far. There needs to be a story. You're telling, or you created this movie for a reason, to tell a story and for a purpose.
Yeah, like, what was the story about? Was it about the guests? Was it about the chef?
It was about it was definitely about the chef.
Like, maybe I'm just like a fucking idiot, and I just don't understand. Maybe there's like an underlying subtext that we're not seeing here.
I mean, chef tells you exactly why he's doing this. He tells you why. Do you know why you're being punished? And he goes and he defines basically every table as that specific group.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, that's kind of a little bit of a cop out, because we could do that with anything. So it's like there needs to be something more. At least if you're going to be killing people, it's like there should be a better reason. Yeah, should be a better reason. As far as the rating goes, I think we can meet in the middle and do 2.5.
2.5 is
what head do you want?
Let's go with Ralph.
We can do Rafe,
whatever.
It's so weird. Everyone on the set called him Rafe. I was like, but it's spelled Ralph.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I said, they pronounce things weird over there.
Weird country.
That's the reason we left.
That's why we came here.
That's our rating for The Menu. 2.5 Rafe/Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely go give it a watch. It's worth a watch, okay?
It definitely is worth a watch.
And
it's worth an experience.
It's worth the experience. You're paying for that experience, figuratively and literally.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we're missing something. We're not. I mean, fuck. We're just
two guys who watch movies. Yeah.
Who watch movies. Hit us up in the comments. Tell us what you think about The Menu. You know,
is there something that we missed?
Yeah, is there something we missed? We overlooking something here? Or right? Would we miss? Do we miss some undertones?
Yeah.
With the ending of the movie. I mean, we didn't even talk about the cheeseburger, which was the best part of the whole fucking movie.
The cheeseburger or the fucking the tortillas, the tacos. Dude, that was fucking
Taco
creepy,
Tuesday.
man.
It was pretty creepy. It was pretty
Just
creepy.
like, he was just taking those photos, and they're like,
Little creepy. But the burger though,
it looked really good.
it looked really good.
Yeah.
And it kind of really made me want a burger, and I kind of want one now.
Matt wanted one last night too, and I'm like,
Did he?
dude, yeah. I'm like, dude, I
Yeah.
only got so much money, man. Like, I don't think I can afford it. Like, I couldn't.
Make him buy it.
He's like, oh, I don't got any money. Oh. And also, I can't make tonight's showing, guys. Like, fuck you, Matt.
It's funny that I have no money, but I'm going to dinner tomorrow. You son of a bitch.
Right?
All right, so the menu, 2.5 Ray Fiennes.
Yep.
Still worth a watch. Go check it out. It's in theaters now. It's probably gonna, to be honest, it's probably gonna be a contender at the Oscars for cinematic and acting. So I don't know as far as story goes, whether or not it's gonna be in that
I
category.
think it's going to be.
I think it definitely will be at the Oscars.
They don't really fuck around with suspense, kind of horror. They don't really.
No, but
Really touch on that.
the cinematography was good enough for them to qualify. I'm
to be
pretty sure it'll be in.
A couple nominations at least.
Yeah.
somewhere along the
I don't
line.
know if it'll win anything, but it'll definitely. I'm almost positive
think it's gonna
it'll
be
be
on the board?
nominated. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, if you guys really enjoyed our content, please like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. It's a little click for you, but it does wonders for the channel. Hit us up in the comments. Anything will work. Just help the algorithm. Even an emoji will be nice. Fuck, if you didn't even like this episode, you could leave a little shit emoji in there,
Yeah.
and that would still help.
If our opinions were dog shit in this about this movie, let us know. If we're not hitting it on the mark, if we're missing something.
Also, if you're local, I wanted to do this last time. If you're local to Orange County, hit us up in the email, which is nyec.gsc@gmail.com. Hit us up in the email, and maybe you can always come join us in studio, and we can have a conversation.
We would love to have you talk
would
about
love
your
to have
favorite
you.
films and tell you why your opinion is dog shit. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
we just love movies, so this is kind of like the whole concept of this show.
And it's nice to have a different guest
outside
come on.
perspective.
Yeah.
You and I have like almost the same perspective on movies. That's why it's like it's nice to have Manny on because he's like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So
He's like, well,
I thought it was pretty good. Like you said that
like I
17
said,
times.
the film was really good. Man, you said that 5 times, bro.
We heard you the first 4 fucking times, Manny.
You took 2 minutes to fucking. George has got to edit all this out.
You could also hit us up on our social, Facebook, Not Your Everyday Critics, Instagram at not your everyday critics. Fancy ho ho.
But other than that, until next time, happy movie going.
Happy movie going.